everyone, and welcome to the Metrix Coin AMA. I am your host, Jude Newcomb, team member for Metrix. With me today, we have three additional team members. We have Joshua, aka Crypto Life, our newest team member. We have Theo, or as you may know from his handle, the Raw founder, who is our marketing director for Metrix. And of course, we have our CEO, Trent Richards. And we are all here to fulfill a promise to the community, which was to answer your questions. We put out a couple tweets a couple weeks ago asking you what you wanted to know from us. And we've put together a list of those questions. And we're going to do a quick video here to touch on everything that you're curious about. So you guys ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So the first question that we actually have has to do with Cryptopia and exchanges. So this one I'm going to ask Josh. The question says, I have Linda coins on Cryptopia, and liquidators are doing ID verification soon with coins returned later this year. Will we be able to move those directly into a Metrix wallet? Just the name changed, correct? Does this person have the right idea, Josh?
Yeah, so there's actually going to be, I've been dealing with the same thing with a different coin, but what's essentially happening here is there's three levels, and one is the claims registration. And if you didn't get an email from the claims portal, you can also go to, there's a customer service link from Cryptopia where you can send in your information. As much information as you can provide is best, like wallet addresses, balances that you may have held. As far as, and then after that, they're going to go back to asset transfer. Now, we're going to have to get with the team on how much of the Metrix coin was swapped over to the new chain. If I understand correctly, they did participate in the swap for whatever wasn't hacked. So that answer is kind of elusive, but the bottom line is we really are at the mercy of waiting on Cryptopia and what they find, what's left, and then move on from there. They still haven't got to stage 2, which is the identity verification. They're just doing the claim portal right now still.
Yeah, so we're kind of at the mercy of them and their timetable and the liquidators' timetable. So we'll just have to continue to wait and see. That's great. Thanks for that. The next question that I have here is for Trent. We had a question where a person says, are acquisitions something the team has discussed when Metrix is actually in a position to do so?
Yeah, really good question. We can take that in quite a few ways, because obviously an acquisition to most people would be acquiring an entity, a business or what have you, but we could also acquire IP, we can also acquire developers. So it's a big question. There's a lot of ways I can answer it, but realistically, with our NFT program, we're looking at doing an acquisition for that, and none of this has been released yet because we're still in early time meetings. But the best part to look as far as acquisitions would go would be with looking within our own community. And so hopefully, if everything goes well in the next couple of weeks, we'll have a first acquisition to actually talk about, which is a partnership within the NFT program. Secondly, a deal we've been working on, Watchaf and I have been working on this deal for a bit over a year now with the casinos, and we're talking probably about this time last year about these online casinos and how wonderful it would be if we could just get one casino to accept Metrix. Well, we're taking it to the next level, and when I say we, it's more Watchaf. More recently, it's been working on this. He's put countless hours into it, and it's looking even better than what we were doing before. And what we're trying to do with that one is merge that in with our Wade Street Gaming platform. So Wade Street Gaming, as everyone would know by now, hopefully, is a rebranded model from the GMG platform. It's been much higher developed since then. And we've also got an esports component to that. We've also got the gaming component, and then there's going to be more and more components coming on board. And this was part of requiring our gaming and gambling license worldwide and so forth. So we're looking at doing acquisitions, possibly even with this casino model, into the Wade Street Gaming program. So that's another example of what we're looking at. But the list is just endless. I could sit here all day and talk about what we're looking at doing and trying to fund and partner and so forth. So great question. The answer is yes. It's 100% yes on every level. We're looking to build this coin to do for everyone, for everything.
I think that's what the community wants to hear. That's a great answer. Talking about Wage Street Gaming, that it's actually the topic of the next question I was going to ask. So it's a good transition here for Theo. Person was basically asking about marketing and promotion. They're wondering what are the plans for Wage Street Gaming as far as promotion and getting it to the level of mass adoption.
Yeah, great question. Certainly something that's really front of mind for us at the moment. So we are discussing a few different channels, I guess, for how we communicate the launch, and we're sort of tossing up between, are we going to sort of ease into it, or do we want to blow this up straight away? But essentially, we've got a few things which we're planning on doing, and in fact, Trent and I have recently recorded an episode of Blockchain Chronicles actually last night, where we spoke about it a little bit as well, I think, from memory.
What?
Look, in short, essentially, everything from influencer marketing, referral programs, which essentially will be able to offer to influencers in the traditional sense, but also micro influencers. Let's not forget that most people, unless they're like a hermit in a dungeon somewhere, they've also got their own little network, right? So even people with a network of 100 can be super influential when it comes to, especially in the gaming community. We know how tight knit everyone is, if anyone knows the gaming space. So we're really working on that network effect and putting out content to be able to empower all of these people to bring on their networks, not only to play with, but also to make money out of what actually happens within those within those wages. And a little bit broader to that, from a holistic point for Metrix as a project in general, we really want to be thought leaders in the space. We want to be really bringing value to the crypto and blockchain space in general. We want to be seen as thought leaders, and this is why we're coming up with initiatives like Blockchain Chronicles, where we're talking to people, not just within the crypto space, but business leaders who are interested in blockchain and where they see the advantages and the collaboration options across crypto with wider business. So we're doing a whole bunch of things and want to be less transactional. We want to be, telling a story around crypto and specifically Metrix, whether it be, the NFT platform or the projects resulting from there, whether it be Wage Street Gaming, or whether it be the product and the project as a whole and the actual chain and the tech behind it and what its capabilities are. So, mate, to Trent's point, right, as we have these, these governor votes and these budget proposals, and we can build up our treasury more and more, it just gives us more options on what we can do. Things like a really high budget production around these launches for things like Wage Street Gaming is an option as well. And just in general, like the community's probably seen that the activity is starting to pick up, and that's because we have this top-down content strategy that's just going to ensure that there's just relentless content that's worth, entertaining and or educational, that'll just be always front of mind. So really exciting to see what we can do over the next couple of years.
Yeah, I'm really excited with how much content we're creating, especially lately. The community is going to basically get hit with something, I would say, every other day at least. New content, new videos, clips, interviews, all sorts of things. And want to thank you for being the leader that we need in the marketing direction, and you're doing a fantastic job.
Let's do it.
I know I'm the host, but I'm going to take a question as well, just because I'm allowed. Absolutely. And thank you. So the one question that I saw that piqued my interest was somebody was talking about the price of Bitcoin crashing, and what do we do, in that example of, if the price of Bitcoin crashes, the price of Metrix crashes, you know, what do we do with that? And we don't really talk about price too often as a team, but I think this kind of gets around that a little bit because we're talking generally, I think, about a bear market. And, you know, I was able to preview the upcoming, which will be released when people are watching this. So people are going to know that, you know, you guys talked about the bear market and the importance of laying this foundation that we've been able to work towards over the past year. And it's also something that I touched on in my last episode of the week that was with the importance of building up these partnerships and use cases, because what that in effect will do is create sort of an insurance policy as best as possible with a market that is not going in the direction everybody wants, because we're going to be increasing real world use case, and that doesn't stop just because of bear markets happening in cryptocurrency. You know, people are still going to go shopping, they're still going to do the things that they like to do, they're going to go to casinos, they're, you know, fill in the blank. So I think with developing these partnerships like White Shark and Trent are doing, and looking to expand on that with the amount of people that we're looking to bring onto the team to develop these partnerships, we're going to be, I think, in the best position we can possibly be in to handle something like a bear market, because these transactions are not going to stop just because Bitcoin went down in value. That kind of leads into the next question that I have for Josh, because, you know, talking about the prices of different coins, you know, we're talking about exchanges. Obviously, those are important to Metrix, and one of the questions that we get a lot, and we got it in this list of AMA questions, is will you be getting on more exchanges that allow U.S. citizens? So, Josh, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, absolutely. I like this question because I have a vested interest in the answer, being U.S. myself. I think that it's important to underscore the wrappings. And I don't think that can be overstated, and I don't want to be glossed over, because what the wrapping does is it kind of, like the ad wrapping and the BSC wrapping, it kind of puts a costume on Metrix and allows it to participate in something that's already created and done well. These pancake swaps and everything else that goes to that, you know, there's these liquidity pools, and it just creates the opportunity for people to hot swap in and out of Metrix, and it doesn't matter what country you're in. So the wrappings do a good job, and there's so much volume in these right now. That's the hot thing on the market, and I mean, there's a lot of lottery tokens out there, just and they're BSC wrapped, and people are picking them up just because. The difference is that Metrix has real value, you know, brings something real to the table. So I'm very excited about the wrapping. It just give me another on-ramp without having to creatively finagle my way into an exchange that maybe isn't as welcoming to U.S. citizens as we'd like it to be. That said, what it really requires is that these exchanges that we do have, like P2P, B2B, U.S. citizens have to show up there and do the volume. You can't just sit around and wait for somebody else. You know, it's the old quote says, maybe somebody should do something about this. Well, maybe that person's me, right? Maybe I should put some of my coins on these exchanges and do some trading on these U.S. friendly exchanges and be the catalyst of the momentum that's necessary to really bridge that gap and become the on-ramp. So the wrapping's important, but it's also, with the top exchanges and the wrappings comes, you create this synergistic momentum where one thing leads to another. It's like a snowball effect of, Metrix is gaining momentum and gaining visibility, and more people want it, and it drives demand, and that drives liquidity. And guess what? Then you have other exchanges knocking on Metrix door saying, hey, we see your user base, we see your community. We want to add you, because they want a piece of that action because they're getting transaction fees. To them, it's all about business. So we need to create the business that makes them come to us and say, we want you. And I think the team is doing a phenomenal job. It's easy to get dismayed maybe or deflated by some of the silence, but you have to build the infrastructure and you have to build the foundation. You can't just, you know, shoot from the hip with this stuff. If Metrix has done anything in the last 3 years, it's laying down that foundation of that infrastructure so they could come out the gate strong and poised for success, and not just hoping something good happens. They're creating the opportunity for something good to happen. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, great answer. I think we're all excited, and you know, when you get into talking about wrapped metrics and all kinds of, you know, technical stuff, my head gets a little loopy with it, because, you know, that's not really my forte. But you know, that we're gonna throw a technical question in here for Trent. You know, so here you go, bud. So they say, we're really impressed with the direction of Metrix Coin in the last year. One question I have is basing metrics off the quantum code. What are the important differences between the two, and specifically why choose metrics over quantum if someone is making that decision?
Well, firstly, I'd like to thank Chris for getting called into work late and not being able to answer this question. And secondly, everyone knows that I'm the CEO, I'm not a technical person, but let me give you my view on this. Quantum was an amazing chain, amazing set up the ecosystem for them, but there's a lot going for it. And the problem we had previously on the Metrix chain was it was just so limited. And our devs were just spending all day, every day trying to do repairs rather than any growth. And as a team, it was discussed many times, even prior to myself being CEO, that we needed to do something. We needed to get on a better product so that we could develop. And it was decided that the quantum chain would be the best chain to do that for what Metrix wanted to do. And then once we've done that hard fork, we've then put our roadmaps together of what else we can do using this chain, what other partnerships we can do to bring on so that we can actually build out this chain. So although, yes, we started on a quantum fork, it's not a quantum chain, it's a Metrix chain. And we're customizing this to suit what we're doing. So why would people be on the Metrix chain compared to the quantum chain? Guys, just watch the roadmap. We're just putting more and more and more in that roadmap. So you want to be on the Metrix chain, you want to be behind Metrix, this ETH wrapping, these short addresses coming out, all this stuff that people haven't done yet. It's going to be really, really exciting. So that's my most non-technical, technical answer that I can possibly give. But we've taken what quantum started with and we've developed it down the Metrix path. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really like it's choosing the same thing. You know, it's not apples and apples, it's apples and oranges, and we've made it our own, and it's gonna give us a lot of flexibility in the future, like you said, and you know, people are gonna love what we're gonna be able to do with it. We're already, you know, in that process, and it's gonna get better from here.
I think people will be absolutely blown away very soon, you know, with what's coming out, with what's on the roadmap already, those new items we put on that roadmap, the timeline we've got for that, the new devs we've employed, we've got the new marketing team with Theo heading it up. Josh has just come on board, Acrypto Life for those that don't know. So we've got more and more team members coming on. We've got more and more going on that roadmap. We've got more and more development happening. It's going to explode by the end of this year. What we're going to be able to produce, it's just insane.
Yeah, I think every day is just more and more and more, and I think we're going to get to a point where it's everything, you know. So
for everyone.
Yeah, there you go. So there was just one last question that I saw. I don't really have a complete answer for it, but I think it's kind of fun. Where somebody was asking about when Metrix is going to host some sort of annual conference, and where would that be and what that would look like. I don't particularly have an answer for it. I just know I'm for it. So that's something that the team will definitely talk about and try and come up with some sort of solution. I know there's been talk in the past about some sort of Las Vegas meetup. That sounds great. But
I can tell you for sure that the tickets are going to be NFTs.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. So to who asked that question, more to come, to be determined, but it's something that, you know, we would love to be able to meet our community members and all meet up and see who, especially, you know, being on this team and seeing everybody on Zoom calls and Google Meet. It would just be really cool to just see the person face to face and have a laugh and talk about all the hard work that we put in, and hopefully at that time when we're all meeting up, it's for a really good reason, and it's because Metrix has reached some semblance of the mass adoption that we know that this can achieve. So stay tuned on that. And you know, with that, I just wanted to say that these are basically the questions that we had. I want to thank you, gentlemen, for being here today to answer them as best as you can. And just because we've done this AMA does not mean that we're done answering questions. If you ever want to ask a question, just use one of our many social media platforms to ask, and someone will get back to you as soon as possible. And we also have a suggestions tab where you can make comments and talk about things that you'd like to see in the future. Trent, do you have anything that you want to add here at the end?
No, I'm just so proud of everyone. For all the Metroids out there that think, you know, as a CEO, I get paid, as the week that was head of social media, Jude gets paid, and the marketing and external company that Theo comes in, he gets paid, and now Josh has joined the team. Guys, that's not the case. We're all volunteers, and we're building this because this is what we want to do. This is our passion. We're like-minded individuals that have come together. So if you want to see a community that comes together that actually turns into a team, this is it. We're all community members, and you know, we're following a basic line of sight of where we want to take this. And if anyone else wants to join the team, hit me up. Obviously, I do have some restrictions. I don't want just anyone on the team, but if you're a like-minded person and you've got some skill sets or you've got something that you'd like to offer, please, we're here, we're building. So hit me up. More than happy to have a chat to you. And I'd love to congratulate Josh on just joining the team this week. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
stuff, mate.
For sure. He's going to bring a lot to the table. So I just want to, again, thank everybody for their questions, and thank you guys for being here today. And look forward to AMAs in the future. If you have any questions, reach out to us on our social media platforms. And yeah, have a great day or have a great night wherever you are. So
cheers.
Take care.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys.